My name is Adebi Adele, and my project for today is mechanical behavior of materials. That's analysis of materials, processing, and structure of killer systems. Background. Locks can be defined as hardware that provides an increased level of security for arms, safety boxes, containers, door cabinets. Locks can be mechanical or magnetic, but first, locks have been used since the beginning of time by the Greeks, which locks was first used by the Greeks in the 700 BC. Uh, Locks were used back then to security, as security purposes, to fasten doors, to prevent thieves. Uh, Locks that were used back then were keys and pegs. So we talk about the materials used in processing of a key lock system. Uh, Internal mechanisms of locks are mostly made from brass, zinc or boron alloys, steel. So the boron alloy steel makes it difficult to cut. And most key locks are made of various strong metals. The internal mechanism of locks are generally made of brass or die-cast zinc. The tongue of the lock that produced from the lock to secure is made of steel, stainless steel. The outer casing of the lock are made of brass or could be made of chrome, steel, and like I said earlier, could make a boron alloy, a metal alloy, just to prevent it from getting cut easily. Design. Locks come in different types, different grades, from low security to medium to high security. Security locks, low security locks are made generally from cheap materials, and which the parts can be mass produced using as gas in the environment. And manufacturers keep basic parts, in large quantity because they are cheap and they don't require much customization. The process begins with the manufacturer assessing the customer specifications. When manufacturer wants to make a lock, they come with a design that fits, people's needs, customers in this case. Manufacturer goes through a process known as reverse engineering process. That means they take original locks or different locks, or they check the lock design, and then try to start the building process. So after the design has been made, the key production comes next. The lock manufacturer, the processes involved in making locks involves coating, cutting the ridges, combinations. Each case have different levels. Like I said, different keys require different process. After the key has been made, the internal mechanism of the locks follows. The internal mechanism follows after the assembly. The internal mechanism has been designed to meet the prior assembly of the keys, to fit particular lock order and machinery that makes them to retool or reset. Because any other manufactured parts of this locks must be manufactured in fine tolerance, and the machinist may take a trial run before starting the process. Machine could be reset if necessary. So during the machining of brass, brass could be cast and then grooved, rigged, jeweled, and polished. The polishing comes after all the process, of the parts have been cutting the metal within tolerance is very important. So like I said, during the machining process, the process involved is the grooving, the ridging, the jeweling, and the polishing after everything has been assembled. So precision tools undo jobs, cutting the metals so as to maintain the tolerance. So in the final assembly process, when all the parts are ready, the lock are assembled by hand. Lock workers sit well-lit tables, the keys of pieces of the lock in the bin, and then the key on the stand. So the plug or cylinder will be filled will be filled with pins that correspond to the combination of the key that was just being produced, and a tiny spring is being inserted, and then the lock pin. The lock pin also will be inserted by using the assembly pick. Once the plug is being filled according to the key combination, the other parts will be snapped and screwed together around the locks. So since the lock will be fully assembled and then tested and make sure it works, then the next final part of it will be the dusting and polishing, which makes the lock ready for use. The most important part of the final assembly of these locks would be the examining the tiny parts, the tiny measurements, and make sure everything is perfect and they meet specified measurements by using very precise gauges